Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Mike. We're out from. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Mike from Regala Photography, where we talk about everything photography. Today, how would you like to take professional looking photos on your iPhone? Specifically, today we're going to talk about the 12 Pro Max. However, if you have any other iPhone that has portrait mode, you should be able to do pretty much everything that I'm going to show you today. Also, many Android phones, I know a lot of Samsung phones, they have portrait mode as well. Settings are going to be a little bit different, but the final product will be pretty much the same. Okay, so let's get on with our lesson for today. All right, so here's your camera screen right now, and right now I currently have it set in portrait mode, which is where you want to be. The way you set your portrait mode is down here. You got your slider. Here's your regular photo mode. There's your video mode. Those are probably your three main use modes, but you want to be in portrait mode. Okay, so you can see here on the screen, a lot of this is very, very similar to what we did in our last video, your iPhone settings. And if you did not see that video, I'll post a link up here and also down in the description below. Okay, but you can see at the bottom left, you have your last taken photo. So if you click on that, that's your last photo that you took. The middle is your shutter button. And then over on the right-hand side, that switches from your front-facing camera to your selfie camera. It's called a rear-facing camera, but I call it a selfie camera. But if you click that, now you see my pretty face. And now if you notice, the background changed, okay? So if we go into regular photo mode, it's pretty clear, okay? Yes, it's a little dark back there because I don't have the lights on, but it's not blurry. It's in focus. But when I go to portrait mode, you can see it gets blurry, okay? Now that's called bokeh or bokeh. This is your portrait mode. Now you can see right above your mode where it says portrait, you got your lighting settings. There's different settings you can do right here. So you can switch it over to studio light. This over here is natural light. You can see it's a little warmer. It's got the temperatures on a warmer tone. If I switch over to studio, it gets a little bit more brighter in daylight. And those are the two I use the most. Contour, I really can't figure out what that does. Let me see. I guess it makes it a little bit brighter. And then the next couple, like stage light, gets rid of the whole background. So it looks like you're, I guess, on a stage with a spotlight on you. Then you have stage light mono, basically black and white. And then high key light, okay, which is a form of photography. So we are going to stick with, why don't we stick with natural light today? So now you can see around my face, you can see the focus. That's where your focus is going to be, okay? And that's where you want your face or whatever your subject is to be in there. Because if I take my off of there, now you can see, oh, let me see, oh, it's moving over to me. So let me get away from me. And I don't think I can do it now. Nope, can't do it now. So anyway, it'll, whatever you want to be in focus should be inside that square, okay? Now if I go too far away, and it's not going to do it on the selfie mode, I don't think. Let me see. Oh, what did I just do here? Okay. All right. So if I take it and I move it too far away, now it's not going to work in selfie mode because this is exactly what you want. You want it to be within arm's length away. Let me try forward mode here, and let me do this water bottle. Now you can see the background went blurry. All right. And my subject, which is the water bottle, is in focus. I can move closer, but if you notice, if I move too close, the yellow goes away and it says at the top, move farther away. So you want to make sure that you are within, I believe it's 8 feet of your subject. Okay, so if I back up a little bit, now my subject is in focus and my background is blurry. Okay, now there is also a telephoto mode where I can move closer, and again I am too close, so I have to move away and right about there. Okay, so I just moved a little bit and my subject is in focus and my background is out of focus. Okay, now the cool thing about this is you're not stuck with what the phone tells you that you have to have in regards to your bokeh. Okay, up here at the top right hand side you'll see an f2.0. Now yours might say 2.5, it might say 2.8, it might be different, but the thing is that is your considered your aperture. On a regular camera, that is the setting on how wide the lens is open. The wider the lens is open, more light will come into the camera. The smaller that the lens is, the opening of the lens, the less light comes into the camera. Now down here at the bottom, you can change your aperture. So if I want it to be more blurry in the background, I can go all the way down to 1.4, okay, which is basically what a 1.4 aperture on a real camera would be. Okay, every lens is a little different, but generally 1.4 is very, very blurry. There are cameras that actually you can go down to like 1.2 with their lenses. Now, if I want to go higher, so right now we're back to 2.0, which is where we started. But let's just say I want to put the background in a little bit more focus. Okay, I want a little bit more of what's there. So now I'm at 4.5. And you can see the background is out of focus a little bit, but I could still kind of make out what's in the background. See, if I go all the way back down again to 1.4, it's definitely very, very blurry. Right next to that, going to the left, that is your HDR. I talked about that in the last video. Again, the link is going to be down in the description. HDR kind of over sharpens and oversaturates the photo to a point where it is unnatural looking. Now I will admit the iPhone actually does a pretty good job with it, so to make it a little bit more natural. But if you like that look, you can actually create that look afterwards in post when you're doing editing. You can over sharpen the photo, you can oversaturate the photo, and you can make it look pretty close to what the phone is going to do. So you're better off just waiting until when you're going to do some editing, and then you can adjust the way you want the photo to look. Okay. We're going to skip the arrow over there in a minute, and we're going to come back to that one. Over here, next to the arrow over on the left, is the exposure compensation. Now we kind of talked about that in the last video. Let's just say you're in kind of a dark area and you want to kind of bring a little bit more light in. All I got to do is make that number bigger, and you can see how the photo is getting brighter. Now obviously it's getting a little too bright. So now if I want to, I can go lower and I can make the photo look darker. Okay, so you want to find out what is good for your photo. Okay, now next to this is the controversial phone flash. Right now it is off with the slash going through it, and then right there the flash is on. Let's get over here to the arrow over here at the top. Now most likely yours is probably set like this right now, where you have all your modes right here on the bottom here: photo mode, portrait mode, etc. Okay, if you click that arrow, now you have access to other settings. Some of the ones we've already gone through, like the first one is the flash. Now this one, if you click on it, it's going to give you a couple extra things you can do. So I could turn it on or off, or I could put it on auto, so you can let your camera decide whether or not the flash is going to go. Again, you want to make the decision on as many things as possible in regards to taking your photos. Okay, so I would never put it on auto. For me, I usually will put it on off. Okay, the next one over is your exposure compensation. We just went over that. If you want to darken or lighten your photo, you can do that right there. The next one, timer. You have three choices: timer off, you have a 3-second timer, and a 10-second timer. Okay, so if you're going to do a selfie, or if you want to take a group photo and you want to try to make sure you get yourself in the photo, you can set everything up, frame everybody all set, ready to go into the phone, have the timer set for say 10 seconds so you could run over, get in the photo real quick, and then the phone itself will take the photo for you. Okay, so that is your timer. Filters. How many of you are on Instagram? You probably know a lot of filters. Snapchat, TikTok, okay? All those, they all have filters. And you know what? Some people like them. God bless them, all right? Me personally, never use filters. If I want to make a photo look a certain way, I'll do it in post in Lightroom or even in the iPhone photo app, okay? The Apple photo app. So for me personally, I don't use filters at all. Next one is your f-stop or your aperture. Again, we went over that on how blurry you want the background. So right now we're at 2.8. So if you want to make it blurry, you can go down to 1.4. And again, if you want to make the background a little less blurry, you can go a little higher, okay? Slide over again. Actually, no, you don't slide over, but that's your HDR, okay? High dynamic range photo. And again, you can turn it on. Oh, let me see. Yep, on or off, and that's pretty much it. Those are your choices. And then after that, once you get everything all set up, all I got to do is take my picture, and then if you look, that's what your photo looks like. Okay, and you can see the background is nice and blurry, and all that. Now the real cool thing is that okay, if I come down here and I click edit, if you notice, it doesn't look like a regular photo. The settings don't. Okay, these are the portrait settings, so you can actually go back. So let's just say you took this photo and you had it set really, really blurry, but you want to see more of the background. If you look at the top, there's your aperture setting where it says f2.5 at the top left. All I can do is click on that, and now I can change my photo. I can have it more blurry, or I could change it afterwards. Now that's really cool because with a regular camera, you can't do that. So you got to get it set and ready to go the way you want it in a regular camera. With the iPhone, and also with other phones that have this portrait mode, you can go back in afterwards and you can kind of fix something. If you don't like it, you can fix it a little bit. It's not perfect, okay? It's not 100%, but it allows you to fix it a little bit. So you got that. And also the other thing you could change is the light. So here we were set on natural light. If I want to, I can go back into studio. I can go back into contour, stage, etc. Now here's stage. Now let me see. Yep, you can just make it brighter if you want. So basically it's like having a spotlight on your subject if you want to. Okay, and you notice it kind of eliminates the background altogether. And then you got your stage light mono, and then you got your high key stage light. So let's go back to natural where we took it originally. And that's pretty much it. Make sure that the lettering turns yellow. Okay, everything turns yellow because that's going to let you know that you have the bokeh all set up and ready to go, and you are in the perfect distance from your subject. Okay, and again, you can also use the telephoto or the wide shot with your portrait mode. Okay, so thank you for sticking through to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and if you want to know when my next video is coming out, click the notification button and you'll be notified when my next video comes out. So until next time, up here you can look at the last video I shot, which is iPhone settings, and that kind of gives you just a broad description of what all the different settings do on your iPhone camera. And that way you can set up your camera the way you want and don't just settle for what the phone is telling you is a good photo. Well, sometimes it is a good photo, but many times the phone is not right, or you can do it better than what the phone is doing. Okay, so take care, everybody. Gotta love when the camera memory runs out of space right at the end of your video. Have a great day, everybody.